Hello, my fellow Americans and other countrymen. I'm Beck Flatly. Did you ever wonder how politicians become so successful? I've determined the key factors to turn virtually anyone into a political messiah. Oh. Now, before we get started, I have to tell you, I really think you have what it takes to make it in politics. And I don't say this to everybody. You're like Jesus and Richard Nixon rolled into one, and that's good. Real good. Now, before you go proposing to me, that was just an example of the first method in politics. You kiss as much ass as you can, and you give the same compliments to everybody you come in contact with. That way, you only have to remember one set of responses to go with the compliments. I mean, it'll start off small by telling people that they're good looking or smart, but once you're up the ladder a bit, you'll be able to tell entire countries that you value their existence with a straight face. First, let's talk about gestures. It is a proven fact that strong gestures lure unsuspecting strangers into thinking you're more capable than you actually are. You'll have to try different ones out to see what works best for you, but some of the more common ones are the reserved thumbs up. Now, to do this, just pretend like you've got some shit on your thumb from all that ass grabbing you've been doing, but you don't have a wipe handy, so you have to conceal it. This is also pretty symbolic of all the shit you'll be concealing during your career. The controlled karate chop. Now, you're gonna wanna do anything to move up the ladder in politics, so you kinda have to let people know you're cutthroat, but you don't wanna look reckless. Now, the karate chop implies that you're disciplined, but you won't hesitate to chop a bitch in the throat if you had to. The lip purse. Now, this move makes it look like you're thinking of a good response, so use it when you get a difficult question. Now, in reality, you're just gonna be regurgitating the slop a team of writers constructs for you, but if you look like you're thinking, people will actually believe it. They will have no idea that you're just focusing on pinching the fork in your tongue together before you open your mouth again. Now let's move on to statements. Now, most of your career is going to consist of reading teleprompters. Contrary to popular belief, the only educational prerequisite to becoming a politician is that you can read, but preferably at a second grade level so you don't mispronounce the hard words like nuclear and decipit. There's only 3 statements that you actually need to memorize to be a success. 1, I was not aware of that. 2, let me look into that. And 3, I did not have sexual relations with that woman or man. Less likely, though. Go ahead and test it out, because these statements will get you out of anything. Hey Bob, a couple of staff members saw that intern go into your office after hours. I was not aware of that. Well, did you know she was in there? Were you in there? Let me look into that. Actually, Bob, I was just trying to see if you would admit it. The security cameras caught everything, so I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Bob, we have a recording of it. It's clear as fucking day. Do you want to see it? Let me look into it. Now, this cycle can go on and on forever, but usually people just lose interest and give up, just like all the voters in this country. And now for a speed round of bonus tips. If you feel like you're just not climbing the ladder fast enough, here are a few exercises you can do to boost your politician points. If you haven't yet landed a job in a government establishment, you can still practice your technique. Just go to a park and set up a collection bucket and bring a poster with possible renovations that could be made with the public's help. Once you've collected a shit ton of money, throw a raging private party in the park at night. But make sure to not invite any of the people that donated money, because you don't want those kind of suckers pooping up the party. You could have made the park better by rebuilding it, or you could make it fucking awesome with this kick-ass rager. You never specified how you were gonna make it better, so that makes it okay. Now, always keep a cell phone handy, just in case you run into a situation where it's imperative that you send an urgent dick pic. You wouldn't want to miss that golden window of opportunity with the girl who's pretending that she actually likes that shit. Her attraction to you has absolutely nothing to do with the ocean of taxpayer money she's planning on siphoning out of your well-documented dick hole. And nowadays, sometimes you just gotta get a little wacky to get noticed in this donkey-eat-elephant world. If you're still not crushing your competition under your hooves fast enough, you could always resort to smoking crack on camera. People will actually feel like they can relate to you more. And get the media involved. You could like drum up publicity with extreme trap house makeover. Not only will you be high as fuck, but so will the polls. you really want to look like a politician, log on to beckstees.com and buy the collectible shirt I designed specifically to get some intern action. You're welcome.